Rock on 2.1 KFMA. We just started the podcast broadcast a little early here. You can join us, youtube.com/BeefVegan or at BeefVegan on Facebook or even on Twitch by searching BeefVegan Presents. We got Herb Stratford hanging out in studio. Did you hear about the latest controversy with the movie You People? You People dropped. It stars Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's an all-star cast. Entertaining movie. It's not a terrible movie by any means. But Andrew Schultz was in the movie as well. He had a co-starring role, a bit role in there. And he revealed in a podcast with Charlemagne the God that the wedding scene, and this is a spoiler, I guess, but the wedding scene, they CGI'd the kiss after the preacher said, "I now pronounce you man and wife." So Jonah Hill was the star. He was the one getting married. It was a love story. And I'll be honest with you, I got teary-eyed at the end of that. It pulled at some heartstrings.
It did, because you weren't sure. Honestly, they kept you suspenseful about what is this going to happen.
Right. But then they revealed that Jonah Hill did, in fact, have his kissing scene CGI'd. Somebody made that call. And that leads to the question that the internet is asking, is Jonah Hill too ugly to kiss?
That's mean.
That's what the internet's asking. It's not me, okay? But it does raise a question. Now, he was, the lead in a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
So, typically those leads, romantic comedy, they get romantic with their co-star.
Yes.
But a lot of people were pointing out in hindsight, they're like, well, beyond the kiss, their whole relationship in You People was super platonic. I mean, even when they hugged, and the only thing they really did was hug. They were like BFFs, but there was no sexual chemistry whatsoever. And even when he hugged her, and I've seen this movie a couple times, even when he hugged her, he kind of stuck his ass out, right? So it wasn't like, any heat amongst the nether regions.
Sure.
And did you notice that, Herb?
I didn't notice that, but I will say the thing I'm super curious about is, why was it CGI? Was it CGI because when they looked at it, they were like, "Oh, there's nothing working there," or because the actress said, "You know what? I'm just," you know what I mean? Like, I just really wonder what the story is, because there's a lot of ways this could have gone.
Right. Yeah.
But, a big production, a lot of money, right? Big cast. It's like you would have done, let's do this kiss a couple times to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm wondering.
But she's like, no, Jonah. Yeah. And it is a big deal. I'm sure she got paid. And, but maybe she didn't get paid enough to kiss Jonah Hill on screen.
I don't know. Like if you're in a movie with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy, you're like, whatever.
You think so? I am examining broadcast that they CGI'd it. Now it's going to be difficult to see up close as far as the little blur, but that kiss, 100% fake. 100% fake. And of course, the people of Reddit, that's the question.
And it's not even like a big old tongue diver.
No,
it's a peck.
No, but they do make a joke directly after that, like a little too much tongue, don't you think? And the sister Jonah Hill's like, damn white people. That's a white people thing, right? Because it's a play off of the ebony and ivory and the differences and how we could come together and all that. It's a great, a good feeling movie, but they even make a joke and a reference that there's too much tongue in the kiss, and it's 100% fake kiss.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
So obviously people are confused by this, and I'm sure we'll find out eventually in some interviews, because as soon as I interview Jonah Hill,
but you know what? There's the thing about Jonah Hill. It's like, I sort of feel bad for the guy, because he was the subject of a lot of this stuff about his weight.
Yes.
Right. And so it seems like he's always being picked on because he's not Brad Pitt or Leonardo, right? Who now is dating a 19-year-old. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, okay. Well, we're running out of time on the FM side, but we will be back on the flip side. We got your TM style. We're also going to be talking about what's dropping on the Netflix and the streaming services, and so much more with Herb Stratford. Join us, youtube.com/BeefVegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1. All right, so no, keep going what you were saying there. I just had to get those commercials out before 9 a.m.
No, I just, it's funny because Leonardo, there's this whole thing with Leonardo where there was this thing where they tracked all of his girlfriends, and as soon as they turned, what was it, 25?
25.
Yes.
So as soon as they hit 25, he dumped him and he got some girl who was 22 or something. So he had this sort of cycle.
Yes.
Well, everyone's freaking out now, right? Because he's 40, whatever. We have to look it up. I don't know what he is.
No, he's close to 50. I think he's 49, if not 51.
Yeah, and she's 19.
Yes.
You know what? I'm sorry. That's just, number
It's
one,
gross.
obviously it's just about sex. Because what does a 50-year-old have to talk to a 19-year-old about in a relationship?
Positions.
More drinks.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And then think about what is her issues. Like she's going to be changing his diaper, right?
No, she's
No,
not.
she's not.
She's not going to stick around. She's going to be hanging out on yachts,
Yeah.
giving lots of blowjobs,
Yeah.
but also you going all over the world and being treated like a princess.
Networking as well. She'll be networking.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
getting her
this.
own gig. Yeah.
She deleted her Instagram page because, all the people flooding it. And she's a model, professional model. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
There were the immediate observations to people was that Leonardo DiCaprio is dating a girl whose life was whose high school life was extremely impacted by COVID and the pandemic, right? So that's funny because she's only 19. So yeah, she was homeschooled for a bunch of times. But I look at the silver lining. I'm always an optimistic person, Herb Stratford. You know that. So when people are freaking out about the age difference, I'm looking at it like, oh, Leo's trying to settle down for the next 6 years. That's sweet.
He wants a long-term relationship.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and then the Hill thing, Anthony said, as far as the CGI kiss, he said, well, maybe he had a cold sore.
That's
Possibly.
called his head.
Good save. Good save.
Yeah. But it is interesting, and lots of comments on that thread too, because a lot of people were really just confused by it, but did notice just the straight up platonic energy.
Yeah.
And you'll see when you watch You People, because it's worth a watch.
It is definitely worth a watch, but you're right. There's not a lot of chemistry. It's funny. There was just a thing this week about Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon,
Mhm.
and they were how awkward they were on the red carpet, and they're friends. You know what I mean? So it's not even like this thing where they sort of were having a kiss, and maybe they weren't. But they were just on the red carpet, and they looked awkward, and people were saying, "Come on, you guys!"
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe there's just a thing now. Maybe women are just like, I'm over it.
No, not actresses. You know what you're signing up for. And it wasn't like a sex scene. It wasn't like a topless thing. It was literally a peck in front of the entire cast, because that's what you do when you get married. You can now kiss the bride. And they go in close like this. She's the mic, or he's the microphone. She is me, right?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
And they go like this. So cut. And that's it. And they're like, oh, we got the rest. Luckily we work with George Lucas.
Yeah, and all that AI came out. We're just gonna type Jonah Hill kissing so-and-so. AI will just figure it out. Look at their fingers.
100%.
They have 11 fingers.
Right. Rock 1, 2, play 1. Who's this?
All drivers, make sure you're watching your rear of your trailer.
Oh.
Watch those tires, any curves.
Okay. Someone's talking, but someone's in the back.
Watch those rear.
Yo, who's this?
This is Emily. How are you?
Good. What's going on, Emily?
Oh man, Jonah Hill's a cutie.
Well, then you should have.
All right.
You
You
should have been
totally
cast.
met on him.
But did you see You People?
I didn't. No, I don't really watch movies a whole lot.
No. See, well, this is.
But I did look him up when you were talking about him, and he's cute.
Well, money will make people look better, but this is your homework, Emily. This weekend, if you have Netflix, check out the movie You People, and then
Okay.
report back and let me know if you think there's any physical chemistry where it looks like these two people who are supposedly in love are attracted to each other. Because in hindsight, when you watch it and you knowing this going into it, you're going to see two people that have like no interest in each other other than being friends.
Oh, that's sad.
I know.
It is sad.
See,
It
that's
is.
why you cried. That's why you got teary-eyed.
Yeah, because I relate.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I've been friend zoned so many times. I'm just bawling like a baby. Like, I don't want to kiss him. Thanks for that, Emily.
Well, he deserves to be kissed.
Oh, well, I think he's still single, so I think you have a shot.
All right, take it easy.
All right, have a good one. All right,
I'm rooting for Jonah Hill, doesn't he? So there's a documentary out on Netflix about his psychiatrist, right?
Yes.
Because like he went to therapy, he's like, I just need to champion this man that has like helped me so much.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. He's a good guy.
People
Yeah.
say he's good. I understand, and I do not hate Jonah Hill. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to get people's attention when I ask that question. It's a clickbaity type question. Is Jonah Hill too ugly to kiss? But there is something going on there, whether it's either her or him, being overly. And you know what? You can say this, and I don't say this in a disparaging way. But if you're talking about like wokeness, what if it's to a point where they're in this movie, Jonah Hill, and he's very in touch with his feelings and goes through therapy and respectful boundaries. He made the decision not to have any physical kissing like that because, again, if you got the technology, why even put yourself in that situation? And we could do this as friends, but it does take away from the performance because you don't believe that these two people are fucking.
Well, and honestly, you go through this whole process and it's like, this whole story is about these opposites attracting, right? So you sort of believe that, and for people who don't know, she's an African-American woman. He's a Jewish guy. And there's just this meshing of worlds where the family's just, it's like, it's Look Who's Coming to Dinner or whatever, this famous movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did that, and does their love overcome their family and all that other kind of stuff? So it seems like it would be critical to find the right person, right? But I almost wonder when you put this package together, was Jonah screen testing with all these people, or you know what I mean? Like, we don't know the behind the scenes thing. Yeah. Maybe she was attached to it, and maybe he just wasn't into her.
It also might have been that they had to do some reshoots, and one of them was double booked somewhere else.
That's possible.
It could just be that.
They said that as well, but Andrew Schultz again was starring in the movie as well. He was cast there, so he was there, and he basically debunked that because he was there when the scene was shot.
Okay.
So he said they were both there. And both didn't kiss, and then it was CGI. So
that's so weird.
I know, and
it's
then
also weird that he would like talk about it, right? I mean, it seems like, well, pay attention to me. It's like, it's not your story.
Well, it's not, but Andrew Schultz is a content creator, comedian, and does a podcast. So we're talking about it. It definitely probably increased the clicks and people viewing that. So he's just doing his job on that. And he was there, so he had the inside information.
And maybe Netflix wanted him to do it because maybe they want to give a little push to this movie because maybe it didn't give the numbers that they needed it to.
I don't know. It's trending. It's still number 3 yesterday. Top 10 movies on Netflix. Not that there's a lot of great options, but it was number 1 trending in movies there for a couple weeks. It has the likability of Jonah Hill is definitely there. What I think it might have been. I'm speculating here, but maybe he fanboyed a little too hard in the casting. Now, the girl who got cast, I don't know her name, but I do know that she was an ex or widow of Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was a fantastic hip hop artist who was gunned down in his prime a couple years ago. Right now, Jonah Hill, he did this movie. This is almost like a reflection of who he is. He's a guy who just loves hip hop, 90s hip hop, and the culture, as they like to call it. And they call him out on this because you talk about the culture. And Eddie Murphy's like, "You mean black culture?" He's like, "Oh, the culture." He's like, "No, you can't say culture without saying black culture. You're talking about black culture, right?" And he hosts a podcast on the culture. So he kind of points out, he's like, I'm not a visitor, I'm a witness or whatever the case. But he loves hip hop that much that I could see him casting Nipsey Hussle's widow, who also acts, as his co-star because he loves Nipsey Hussle. And then in that situation, she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll do the movie with you, but I ain't kissing your motherfucking ass." That was wrong. I apologize. Immediately take that back. Don't cancel. But and so it could have been that.
No, it could be. It could be some stunt casting. You're right. But
she was great in it. Yeah, she looked good. And I'll tell you this. Yeah, she was believable too because she's hot, but she's thick. And I'm like, okay, I could see this couple happening until again, he's giving hugs straight ass out like this. Like, no, man. That ain't a girl that you're going to put a ring on a finger for, right? If you're going to hug her, you're going to hug her like this. No? Too much. Okay. Welcome back, Herb Stratford. So, I mean, if anything, if they should CGI any kind of kisses, they should CGI the unkiss between Luke and Leia because that's just gross.
It's true.
Good point.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a controversy, and I'm glad, but you can follow that up here in a little bit. So here, how we kick off the podcast broadcast is I like to do TMI top 5. So I'm going to do top 5 headlines. Too much information, right? Then we're going to get into the movies, which Magic Mike's Last Dance and Sharper. And then what else is going on in the streaming services that we're going to touch on, Herb?
Well, we're gonna just sort of talk. There's some upcoming things on on all the big streamers, right? There's a brand new dating show coming out on Netflix called Perfect Match, which is dropping.
Okay.
There's a lot of good stuff. So
okay, yeah. Have you watched Physical 100? on Netflix?
No. But I'm ready to. It's teed up. I'm ready to do it. It's on my list.
Well, I'll tell you what you'll hate.
Okay.
The concept's cool, but you'll hate the editing. They do, and reality shows do this a lot, but they do it very strangely where they will repeat the same thing 3 times in a row. Meaning, like, even just a clip, if I'm going, wow, here he comes. And then it'll be like, wow, here he comes. Wow, he comes. Same inflection, different angles. And that's odd and annoying. And it's a Korean show, South Korean show, but they just say it's a Korean show. Fun fact.
Yeah.
They're just claiming the entire country, as they should. But they take 100 people, physical specimens. They're all athletes of some sort, right? Either bodybuilders or wrestlers or MMA fighters or gymnasts, and they all look great, shredded at different degrees. And then essentially it's MTV's The Challenge, right?
Yeah.
Meets Squid Games. They talk about eliminating people and basically like they're going to kill them. And there's a couple Squid Game references in there, but I don't think anybody dies.
On purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it has been a little interesting to see the setup, a little slow.
And this is I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the one where they filmed a lot of it in the desert in Jordan, in Wadi Rum, which is where I was back in December.
Well, I didn't get that far because I did not see that because everything I've seen right now has been inside giant warehouses.
Oh, all right.
And the production value has been amazing.
I think they end up out in the field, but I could be wrong. So.
Well, if you make it that far, but yeah. I mean, it's difficult. My girlfriend hates that I put it on, but us, we're fans of The Challenge. And so I was like, okay, let's see what they're doing.
And are you watching The Challenge right now? Because we're in the final. This will be the 3rd episode of the final.
I have been watching just YouTube clips because I don't have MTV. But I feel like I already know who won. I think I saw a spoiler on that like a month ago. But it's been somewhat interesting. This 100-hour challenge, though, felt like it fell flat. And there's a gap in there from 47 hours to 40 hours where they're supposed to be walking or running. And it's like, you're telling me they ran for 7 hours and you have no footage? Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So something about it's kind of janky.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but do you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I like we've talked about this. It's like, I sort of feel invested in these characters because I've been watching them for 20 years. I mean, Johnny Bananas. I mean, I've seen all their stuff, and even if you hate them, like, there's characters on there that I always hate. It's like you love to watch characters you hate, right? You love for them to fail. Devin, I want Devin to fail dramatically, right?
Yes.
I can't stand that kid.
Yeah.
So
I think this is going to be Devin's season, though, and I actually like Devin. So we're gonna have to agree or disagree on that. I did ask people on Facebook page. I said, let's play with fire today to troll our friends. If you think we suck, tell us why.
All right.
Yeah.
He hasn't been handling all of it very well. At least early on, he's gotten better.
Yeah, well, because the compliments started coming in. At first, it was like, oh,
yeah.
There was a girl named Taxi who just went for the jugular, and immediately, and I knew. I'm inviting the trolls to comment, and I know it's going to be deleted. We got 63 comments so far and growing.
Right.
And once the trolls wake up, they'll lay it on there and they'll tell us about how the Frank show sucks, and then we'll have to remind them that we're not the Frank show and they're on a different station. That's what happens. But let's see, I know it's going to be deleted, and I'll probably get an email about it, but it's Friday. I like to fuck around. Let's see some of these comments. We need to play better music, and I was like, that's fine. I was like, not to disagree, but tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah, exactly. This is basically like free testing, and I know that the company pays money for these kind of results. So he's like 21 Pilots, Chevelle, KG Elephant, Weezer, Green Day, Panic! At the Disco, Atreyu, and we play a lot of these. Silverstein, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Foo Fighters. List can go on and on. I mean, honestly, you're naming play more than just Five Finger Death Punch.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Even I make fun of Five Finger Death Punch, like on air.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk to Larry about this? Are you forwarding that to Larry?
Honestly, they won't. It's unfortunate too, because I don't think they'll listen to this, and they should. Like I go through, I'm on Reddit threads all the time. I'm always looking for any type of negative or positive feedback on this station. Not just myself, because I'm always trying to look for critique to know how we could do better. And of course, I have every single DJ who's ever worked at this station or any radio station has their own opinion of what direction musically that station should be. That's just how it is. It's nothing different, right? And I have my personal opinion is we should lean into legacy. That means a hybrid, but let's see. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back. Beef Vegan Presents. We got your TMI Top 5 coming up after Linkin Park, and we're wrapping with Herb Stratford, which we're going to tell you what movies are coming to the theaters this weekend. If you want to skip the big game and just be a cinephile, You have that. Plus, Power's going to give you the rundown of all the things that are happening this weekend that you can go out and entertain yourself. And you found a bunch of fun events, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we got that and more coming up on the FM side, but we're keeping it moving. YouTube.com/BeFegan. Oh, snap. This is the new Linkin Park, by the way. This is called Lost. So it just came out last night. Let's check out the late, great Chester Bennington. You can't hear it, but, snap for the listeners here.
Yeah.
I totally forgot I was playing that again. Having too much fun. I do want to respond to John, though, and be like, dude, we do play most of that regularly.
How often are you listening?
Yeah.
That will be like, well, I haven't turned on the station in 4 years because of blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes these complaints are the same complaints that people will say, like, The Simpsons hasn't been funny since. And I'm like, you've been saying that for 2 decades now.
Yeah.
And have you turned it on? No, because it's like, turn it on and have a criticism.
Watch for like a month and then tell us
Yeah.
what you think.
Yeah. Because I think there's been some new writers in 2 decades.
The longest running show in television history.
That's right. Renewed for 2 more years, too.
Come on.
Yeah, it's never ending for sure. I mean, it's got to tell us what the future holds. So, they serve a purpose. All right. Let's see. Melissa is just like, I love the Beef Vegan show. I turn off the station after 10 a.m. Like, yeah, I know. Whatever. No, just kidding. Let's see. When are you going to start playing rock songs? So I said the same thing. And then I was like, well, give us some example of rock music you'd like to hear. And then she didn't respond.
Yeah. And it'll be all alternative and classic.
Sometimes not. I mean, like I said, I was surprised by John's comment because, the way John wrote it, he essentially named a shit ton of bands that we play on the regular.
Yeah.
Some of the bands we don't play as much as we should, but like Escape the Fate. 30 Seconds to Mars, I think isn't getting played as much, but Bring Me the Horizon, Red Hot Chili Peppers. We're not playing Silverstein too much. Black Veil Brides, we could play a little bit more of. But Panic at the Disco, yeah, that's all right. But Weezer, KG Elephant, Chevelle, Green Day, all those bands we play a shit ton. So that's all right though. Just remind them, and in a way, some of this is just kind of remind them, like, oh, okay, the thing that you feel like the reason why you're not tuning in to KFMA is actually inaccurate, and you're complaining about something we actually do,
right?
Or you're saying we don't do something we actually do. So why don't you tune in again and maybe you'll have a good time.
Even the cliche complaints about Fall Ball and KFMA Day are
Right.
like, don't you think we want that more than even you?
I know.
We get a lot of cool stuff that day and a lot of access to things. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get to interview rock stars on stage. We get to be backstage and VIP at a big festival. And we're not supposed to, but we get to sneak in alcohol and drink and have a good time. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So anyways, but that's what that is. So let's do this TMI top 5 real quick. You're going to like this because it's science. It's science, but I'm going to hit you with 5 quick science factoids from this week, okay? So we're on about 10 seconds. I'll let you hear Linkin Park.
Living inside my own confusion.
There you go. Brand new music from Linkin Park. It's called Lost. Yes, that was just released midnight last night. It was basically a bonus track off of the Meteora album in 2003 that they remixed, remastered, and just put out. Just for the sake of putting it out. Now, there are rumblings that there's going to be some sort of reunion of Linkin Park in a way, and there'll be a tour to follow. So we'll see what happens with that. And of course, if that does happen, we'll let you know as soon as we find out. But you've seen bands do this before.
Mm-hmm.
Replace a lead singer who's passed away. Stone Temple Pilots have done it. Oh, to a decent extent. Sublime really just made a whole legacy and career out of it.
Queen's doing it now with Adam Lambert.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's very odd to me.
Yeah, but it works. So I think a lot of people would love to see most of Linkin Park and keep those songs going in a live thing. So we'll see what happens. All right, it's time for your TMI top 5. There's sometimes too much information that I can't give throughout the day, so I'll cram it in real quick as stuff that we missed. It's the science edition. A lot of things happening in the world of science, like astrophysicists came up with a way to fight global warming by blocking out some of the sun's rays. So all you got to do is put up one of those little sun blockers, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They just blast lots of moon dust into space to give us a little shade. And it would take tons of it, but computer simulations showed it's possible.
That sounds like let's try to blow up the moon.
Yeah.
I'm not liking that. I don't know. I think that goes south real quick.
I should give like a disclosure, like, this will scare a lot of people when scientists have like, hey, you know what we could do? Like, you're gonna mess it up. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Of course, the big thing in 2023 is just AI technology, whether it's imaging or the chat bots. Of course, Chat GPT is the big one, right? They're the ones that got the stranglehold on the market right now. Now, Google's parent company, Alphabet, debuted its own AI chatbot called Bard.
Okay.
Right? Not that catchy. And they wanted to go up against Chat GPT, but here's the problem. They put together a promo video that showed it answering a question wrong. And then their stock immediately lost $100 billion in market value.
No.
Yes. $100 billion in market value. In fact, the stock was down even more yesterday and lost another $60 billion or so.
Wow.
Yeah. And what did it get wrong? Well, it claimed that the James Webb telescope that took the first pictures of planets outside of our solar system, and they claimed that happened way back in 2004. Ironically, they made the video ahead of time and could have fact-checked the answer by Googling it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. That happened like a year ago.
Yes, I know. And let's see. We in health news, the team at Columbia found that a drug to treat arthritis can make old people's blood young again, and might even help us live longer. So that's good news for you, Herb.
I knew that was
Get that young blood.
Yeah.
No, I'll take young blood all day too. See, right now, rich people are doing blood transfusions of getting young blood.
Well, Madonna's eating babies, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Madonna. She's that's a whole nother mess. Yeah. Eating babies and stretching their skin over her face like she's Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
That's the only way to describe Madonna's face. In sleep research, a study found that people who believe in aliens or ghosts are less likely to get a good night's sleep.
Oh, no kidding.
Duh.
Oh, wow. That's the scientist said that, you said.
Scientists said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you be on the lookout for those scientists. They're just terrified every single night. You can't get a good night's sleep. Wake up. The aliens. I'm being probed.
Yeah.
Like, you are, but honey, but it's just me. It's our anniversary. All right. Show on the people saw. Pull that back up. Speaking of paranormal, last month a camera in Hawaii caught some weird green laser beams in the sky, all in a row, and it was just for a second, but they looked like it was a glitch in the Matrix, so people freaked out. Did you see this go viral?
I saw it. It's actually, I mean, there's always an explanation, but this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
So-
see, he's a believer and he doesn't sleep well at night. So, see those? Do it again. Those are on the podcast stream. All right, it's playing now. It'll pop back up, and they're gonna do close-ups on it too. So these laser people are freaking out. It's happening in Hawaii, and there's a video going viral because of it. But experts now think they know what they are. They say it was only a Chinese radar satellite probably causing that effect. It used something similar to sonar, but instead of sending out sound waves to a map in the area, it uses lasers. So hey, don't worry, it's not aliens. It's just the Chinese people spying on Hawaii. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. We got more with Herb Stratford. He's gonna let us know what movies are coming to theaters this weekend. Coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents. Stick around. All right, yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah, clear. Yeah, make sure I play the commercial right. But yeah, now Trip.
Yeah, that's
no,
I
it's
mean,
X-Files.
they always have an explanation. You know what I mean? Like if aliens actually landed, they'd be like, "Oh no, it's like a government thing," and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're never going to tell us if something actually happens. And I'm not like an X-Files guy, but like I'm sure there's been some things that we don't know about.
100%. What are you talking about? There's things that
technology. We've made technological leaps that I have to think maybe there was some outside influence. I mean, I don't know if it's all Area 51. I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm just thinking, there's a couple of leaps that are pretty large, and I would love it, but I don't think there's anybody like, I think they're like, whoa, we're staying away from that planet. Those people are nuts.
right.
So
Yeah, but we're stupid.
yeah.
Okay.
Like they'll be easy to conquer here. All we have to do is email a bunch of people this thing, and just
Yeah,
the
it's
world
true.
collapses.
I have to get a Facebook, profile, a
Yeah.
couple of bots, and we
that's
can take
all you
this
need.
place over. Yeah, you may be right.
I just love I think they did on South Park. Where did they do that? Where like we're releasing everyone's internet history in this one city, and then it just collapses on. What? No.
Yeah. You don't want to know.
Yeah, everybody's so full of crap.
I'll tell you what, I was up in Phoenix when the Phoenix Lights happened. So
Yeah.
ever since then, I've been a believer because I'll tell you what, man, every time, like when I saw that feeling of uncertainty and the energy, it was almost like all your hairs kind of would stick up.
Mm.
And when it happened, I was on the northwest side of Phoenix, right? And so the way that it came down like over, like through Prescott. So it kind of went over my house, and I know it went over my house because we were like outside and we look up, we're like, there's no stars, right? Like no stars. It's nighttime. Like, this is strange. There's like literally no stars, and you're just like, huh? And it just felt weird, right? And then all of a sudden you started seeing stars, right? And then then you see the lights as it passes. You see the lights, right? And then they're just there. They're just there, hanging.
Yeah.
And then eventually, then one light would go off. And then go back on, right? And you're like, what the fuck is this? And it happened. It seemed like an eternity, but it was like over an hour. We're just standing there, just staring at this thing and off in the side. And there's tons of video of it. And so then initially, of course, Governor Fife Symington, was like, something's going on. There's something in the sky, blah, 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 blah. Then he did the official press release where he made a joke of it and it's like, it was aliens. No, just kidding. They were just weather balloons. Total bullshit.
They went with the weather balloons.
Yeah. And it was a UFO sighting that was, seen by 1 million people, right? Out of the like 6-7 million people that were in Phoenix at the time. So, from that, and it was massive too. Just keep in mind, like when I saw it, I'm seeing it over the mountains, which is southwest, essentially past Buckeye, in between Buckeye and like the I-10 is where that UFO or those lights were. And they hovered and they stayed there for a long time before they eventually disappeared. And they did it in such a weird way that, it was a couple at a time, boom, 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 where you think something's in front of it, but not. And then back on and up and down. And it was just trip. So
there's like always stuff like this, like almost enough where you can believe it, but it makes me think of an old phrase of how the Native Americans did not recognize like the Pilgrims coming over. It's because they'd never seen ships like that, so they couldn't process kind of what they're looking at.
Right.
And this is almost similar to that, where it is this phenomenon like that, and it could be that, but we just can't really process it. Like seeing is not believing. It's not enough.
Yeah.
Where you don't really understand. Like, is it? And you can talk yourself out of it.
There's many people that believe that the government is just preparing us for a big reveal, and they have been by releasing like Pentagon and the aerial videos, seeing unidentified flying objects, changing the terminology to like the aerial phenomenon, things like that. There was recently, even UFO sighting by Vladimir Putin when he was, he's been talking about nukes a lot lately. And then there was UFO lingering in the area where he was talking on Stalin's anniversary. And there was also UFO sighting on the day that Fukushima was melting down after the earthquake. And that should have been catastrophic, major explosion. Everything went to shit. And then it automatically and miraculously cooled down. So like that makes me, it's so weird too. And this is ignorance. And this is just, again, speculating and hoping and science fiction. Yeah. But there is a part of me that thinks our alien overlords, whoever they may be, is kind of protecting us from ourselves. And as far as the war escalating, and knock on wood, right? Because it's scary, like the World War III and Putin's on his way out and he doesn't like losing, and he could easily be crazy enough in his head right now to be like, fuck you, I'm out. You're all out. I'm the last one winning, right? But what would stop that? Somebody who doesn't want us to blow our world up with nuclear weapons that we don't understand yet. And it's a possibility. And
and that's what religion is, right? Religion is about believing there's a higher power that is going to protect you, right? And maybe judge you, right? I mean, that's the whole thing, right? But I mean, at the same time, everybody wants to think that, if I screw up, somebody will fix it for me. So,
yeah,
I lead toward the other camp of if there are aliens here, or of course, lizard people. They're here to doom us. That's why we got to make it much hotter. We're lizards. We want it to be nice and hot. Okay. They're just going to pull their masks off, and I would go like, now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it make sense if there was just like the cabal that's revealed?
Well, the internet says, of course, the reptilians and the Greys, right? And they're at battle, and the reptilians are in power with the ones that pushing the corporate greed and making the world hotter, and the Greys are trying to like protect the humans but not interfere. And yeah, I like YouTube. I've been on YouTube. Let's move it forward. Let's not be that guy. But anyways,
Welcome to Conspiracy Radio right here.
all right. Let's talk about and pull up one of these trailers here. We got 2 minutes. Well, what's coming to the streaming services before we talk about the movies?
Well, this is a weird weekend because it's Super Bowl, right? So
Yes.
that's why there's very little things in theaters, and and streaming stuff. There's not a lot of just sort of stuff, right? And there's nothing really super sexy coming on anything right now because like season 3 of Picard is next week, right, on Paramount Plus. A lot of people excited about that. Daisy Jones and the Six, which stars our favorite Riley Keough, is on Prime, 10 episodes. That's coming out actually I think the 3rd of March. So The Mandalorian season 3 coming out on March 1st. So there's a lot of stuff sort of teed up, and everybody's avoiding this Super Bowl sort of weekend. So
Yeah, that's
everybody
a good call.
knows you're just going to sit there and you're going to watch, and either you're watching the game, you're watching the commercials, or you're just stuffing your face.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you're doing all 3.
I honestly, I watch a lot of the commercials because I want film trailers, right? They're going to drop a lot of good trailers. And that's sort of the world I live in. So the game will be on, but it's not like I'm rooting for either one of those teams because I just don't have any skin in that game.
Yeah. Now, which film trailers are you most excited to see?
Well, it's interesting. They've leaked a lot of them, right? So
It's not even a leak. This is how they do it now.
Yeah.
And because they spend so much money on these trailers, a lot of them with the original content, not just movie trailers. But they spend a lot of money, obviously, to air them. So they're trying to get more bang for their buck, but it does take away from the entire thrill and desire of watching the commercials during the Super Bowl because you've had them for 3 weeks and nothing is new. I'm sure there'll be a couple things, but it does suck. There will be a lot of movie trailers, though. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yep.
Or Ant-Man Quantumania, I should say. Quantumania.
Yeah.
It's starting to get good reviews.
It's getting really good reviews. So there's that.
I'm
there's
excited.
There's Fast 10, of course, the new
I'm out.
It's a big one. I think we did see the Cocaine Bear trailer, but I have a feeling we're going to see another one. I'm worried about some of the digital bear effects.
Yeah.
It looks a little cheesy. But yeah, all the big summer ones. I think Indiana Jones is the one we're going to really see. That's the one I think is going to blow people's minds.
I don't know. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're talking about different movie trailers that are going to drop during the Super Bowl on the podcast broadcast, and he thinks that people are going to be blown away by the Indiana Jones trailer. But I don't think people are going to be excited or want to watch a close to 90-year-old Harrison Ford.
He's
Honestly.
80.
I saw the trailer for that in the theaters.
It's
exciting.
No.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I know, but I have a headline that I didn't get to today that to me says it all. Okay. Harrison Ford is so old that people who interview him are essentially asking him about what's going to happen when he dies in like a year. So I swear to God, there was an actual quote, and I'm trying to find it on my sheet, where they ask him what he wants to put on his tombstone.
Oh.
They don't ask that to 25-year-old actors. They don't even ask that to 50-year-old actors, right? But Harrison Ford, he's in an interview, and the reporter's like, so what would you put on your tombstone? And I don't know, May.
There's a guy out in the hallway. He can do it for you right now.
Right.
Yeah.
His response is very Harrison Fordy. And it was something like very short and
Like
just
F
like,
you.
yeah. Because he's at the same time, he's like, there's not much room on a tombstone was his reasoning for it. But I'll pull it up here in a little bit. It was an interesting comment. But again, my takeaway from that was only because they're looking at him, they're interviewing him. And maybe it was a question he wrote down.
Yeah.
Or a question that popped into his head halfway through the conversation.
When
Right.
Harrison Ford shuffled in there.
Well, but also I think in defense of a journalist who gets 2 minutes with somebody, I mean, I think you're like, okay, what do you want to be remembered by? Because he's been such a curmudgeon about, I don't like Star Wars, I don't like Indiana Jones, I don't like any of the movies I've made.
Yeah.
Right.
He's sort of a crab. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I can see maybe why that answer, but man, just think before you speak.
Yeah.
That's just rude.
I know. I'm trying to get clickbait and it didn't work, but I guess it did because I wrote it down on my sheet somewhere.
So the other one I'm thinking might be exciting is John Wick 4. I think there may be a trailer for that, and the buzz on that is very strong because, of course, you have the spin-off series about the Continental, the hotel,
Right.
where they all go. So that's another one I think is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be
can I
cool.
take a guess? Do you think we'll see? I've only seen teasers for Elemental. That's Pixar's next movie, where they'll like maybe release a full trailer.
They could. I mean, Disney's in such a complete, just it's blowing up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they announced the Toy Story sequel
Yes,
and all that stuff. So
all of
Yeah,
them.
Tim Allen's going to be back in Toy Story 5. So, he got recast in Buzz Lightyear and they put Chris Evans in. But
which
nobody
was not
wants.
good.
No.
It was a miss.
And it could have been politically motivated. I mean, that was the speculation. And there's really nothing to say it wasn't. But it was a bad call. And obviously they lost a lot of money because people didn't want to see it. And his voice sounds the same. Buzz Lightyear's voice should be just Tim Allen. That's the way it came out.
You wouldn't recast Woody.
No, exactly.
Again, I'll defend Lightyear. They were making a different movie. It's different. It's not Buzz Lightyear. It's a movie about Buzz Lightyear.
You sound like corporate, dude. And yeah, it doesn't work. It didn't work, and nobody really watched it or enjoyed it.
But it wasn't. But I will say, in support of Powers here, it wasn't just the voice that made that movie not great.
Okay.
Bad writing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Out of these two movies, Sharper starring Julianne Moore and Sebastian Stan, or Magic Mike's Last Dance, which one are you gonna fap to?
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
No, which movie? Which
No.
movie do you like better?
honestly, Sharper is really good.
Is it? Okay.
It is like, I mean, it's like, so it's in theaters for a week and then it's on Apple TV starting next Friday. This is a really great movie. And when I say adult, I don't mean like adult movie, like in the bag over there on the counter.
Right.
I mean like an adult, like a grown-up movie about adults. And it's like, it's not a bunch of stuff blowing up or whatever, or a bunch of, needless sex. It's like this really great movie about a grifter,
Okay.
right? Played by Sebastian Stan, and sort of the marks that he's going after. So I don't know if you guys remember, there was a great movie called The Grifters with Angelica Houston and Annette Bening and what's his name from Say Anything? John Cusack.
I don't remember that because I was born 10 years after it came out, but that's okay.
No, you weren't that. Yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
just messing with you.
But
the Grifters,
anyway,
yes.
Grifters, it's sort of an interesting world, right?
Mhm.
When you're actually putting a grift on somebody. And so what's his name? John Lithgow is this billionaire. So you're seeing in a non-sequential scene, they sort of highlight a character and you see their story and then they sort of overlap. And so it's put together really cool, filmed really great. And it's just this crazy story of this grift. And then all these layers of the onion and you don't see where it's going. And then it ends and you're like, wow, that was awesome. So
Nice.
definitely worth checking out. If you don't want to go to the theater, you can wait till next week, but definitely worth checking out. This is a noir sort of thriller. These are dark characters and it's an excellent film.
I like that the noir style of film is kind of coming back,
Mhm.
so you're seeing a lot more like this. And this is very interesting because Apple Plus is releasing it in theaters for 1 week and then releasing it on Apple Plus the following week. So 1 week theatrical run. Why are they doing that?
I think a lot of times it's to be eligible for awards and stuff.
Okay.
They just have to do it. But sometimes they just put it in New York and LA to be eligible. It's getting a full release. And so, you could go see it. Honestly, it's not like a spectacle, right? Like you're not going to watch Ant-Man at home if you can avoid it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to see that big, right?
I still have to see Avatar in the theaters, but
you need to, because it's just not the same on small screens.
You're absolutely right.
So, but it's definitely worth your time. And the other one is Magic Mike this week. Which,
well, we'll talk about that on the stream and probably bag on it. And we'll be back with Powers. He's going to give us a rundown of different events that are happening all around town this weekend that you don't want to miss. So keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1. Clear. All right.
Did Kevin Nash make it into this new Magic Mike? Is he still in there?
Did Kevin Nash? Did you watch it? You didn't get
Let's
it.
see.
I
I'm gonna say-
have yet to see a Magic Mike movie. I'm just going to tell you.
Lots of dong.
Well, I I don't know. I think I like Channing. I think he's a funny guy. I'm just like, this isn't a movie for me, right? This is not made for me. This is just like I don't go see other movies that are not for me, right? Why bag on something if I'm not the audience?
The takeaway for this Magic Mike for me was the recasting during the shoot. They have Selma Hayek in the movie, but originally it starred the girl who was and I want to say it was Zoe from all the movies like Avatar and stuff, or it could be thinking
Okay.
and she's in also Guardians of the Galaxy.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, I think it was her, or it was the chick from Mission Impossible, who's beautiful. There was some kind of a falling out between her and Channing Tatum that was so bad
Really?
that they recast it, and this was during the shoot.
Well, and
Wow.
Salma Hayek is married to the world's wealthiest man, right? So maybe they needed some financing.
Ah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think for the character she plays, I think she's perfect for it because I think it needed to be somebody a little bit sort of more mature and more sort of worldly. So I sort of get that because and I love Zoe Saldana. I mean, she's the only actress to be in 4 movies that have made over $1 billion.
Yes.
Yeah, but she hates it.
I know.
Does
I
she,
know
though?
She does.
Yeah, she says
Yeah.
after doing all these, and this is what happens when you hear these people that do Marvel movies and things like that. She's like, yeah, now this is all I'm getting. She's like, can I just star as a woman in a thing?
Yeah,
And not have
without
blue
green
skin,
screen?
green skin.
Yeah.
Like that is almost becoming the Hollywood trope of like, oh, just take African American people and make them blue or make them green.
Right.
Like it's a thing. It's
That's true.
happening more.
But I will say it's also a testament to her beauty because you're able to put her in many different scenarios and make her look hot. She's a hot green woman. She's a hot blue woman. I mean, those features in Avatar are her features. So she has this kind of like really universal beauty that translates into different ways very well. And it's a compliment at the same time. But I get it to a certain extent, and you want to be known as yourself. But still, at the end of the day, when it goes down, when it's all said and done, they're going to tally up her box office rankings and everything that she's in, an insane amount of money. I don't think there'll be anybody really.
No, there may not be.
Yeah.
And so her agents made a lot of money too.
Well, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
And she was in, she's in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, timeline too, right?
Yeah,
so she's
that's
done a bunch
right.
of those. So I mean, she has done some other dramas, and she's very good in them. But I think maybe I don't know, maybe we just like her in that sort of fantasy sort of world.
Well, she's also a really tough gal. Like
Yeah.
that's some of her attitude is she plays these women that are strong. She's terrifying in Avatar.
Oh yeah.
Half her lines are just her hissing and screaming.
Yeah.
It's
True.
ridiculous.
It's true. It's true. And she's and I saw her one year at Sundance walking down the street on Main Street. And she's just, she's like she's a very skinny, slight, so for her to have that presence, that's something.
And then Herb tried to say, she slapped him right in the face because she's vicious.
She hissed at me.
Yes.
Which one? I didn't get to do this follow up though, but you were just at the Critics' Choice Awards, and obviously, a lot of different celebrities. Which one do you felt like you gelled with the most? I mean, I think the last year it was what Takai or
now we're gonna blank on his name.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Waititi.
Waititi. Sorry. I'm sorry.
TW to his friends.
Yeah.
I was on a photo celebrity safari, so I was getting photos, right? So I mean, on my number one person, you guys are gonna make fun of me, but my number one person that I wanted to get a picture with was Kate Hudson because I just have a Kate Hudson.
No, I love her.
I just ever since
Famous?
Almost Famous, I've just had this. My wife knows this. I've had a crush on her. And so I was just like,
and your wife was with you, right?
Well, she was, yeah,
Yes.
but she didn't stop me from going over and usually she's like, don't be creepy, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, I understand.
I love that she tells you that a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, she knows you well.
Is Kate Hudson your hall pass?
We don't really have hall passes in our relationship, but I mean,
Yeah, that's just called divorce powers. There's no hall pass on that.
But no, she was a one that I was super excited about. And then I'll say honestly, Kate Blanchett was because I just so admire her work, and Tar is such an amazing movie. So it was a good, and I always love seeing Melanie Linsky, who's a friend, and she's been so great. Melanie is so great in The Last of Us. I don't know if you guys are watching. But.
Yes, I am watching The Last of Us. The only problem I have with Melanie being in The Last of Us is it takes away from the believability of the project. Okay, because again,
Are you gonna fat shame her?
Yes, and I have to. Only because, again, this is a post-apocalyptic world where people are running away from zombies. First off, a lot of running. B, not that much food sources, right? So in any reality, there would not be 10 years after the fact, or even more when it's set. It's like 15, and look, you're getting mad at me. I see the look. But I'm just saying it takes a little bit away from the believability. I love her. I love her in Yellow Jackets. I would marry her. I would cuddle up on her. You know what I mean? My body is bigger than hers. I know this. All those reasons is why I would not be casting Last of Us either, unless they were casting someone to get eaten by a zombie immediately. Because I'd be 3 steps in, trip, and done. But
this used to happen to Hugo on Lost. Remember that was everyone's problem at Lost.
Absolutely.
And they kind of tried to write it in.
But see, I think it's like I don't think there's different body types, right? If somebody has diabetes, they're larger. It's not because they're like eating a bunch of food.
She's not eating anything though. I mean,
and she's also the sister of the guy who was in charge. So I think she would have had a better life.
Ooh, King's life. Okay, well, we'll see how the story develops.
All
And she's
right.
just sitting at, like everyone's out there starving in this post-apocalyptic world, trying not to get murdered, and she's eating steak and fries and Twinkies and living her best life. Then hopefully she gets ate.
I think the last episode with Nick Offerman, episode 3, was fabulous, and I love what she does in her run on the series. And so I'm very happy with how it's. And I didn't play the game. I don't play the game.
Mhm.
So, but I just think they've delivered. I think the casting is great, and I'm really happy.
The best part about that, I think, is honestly just the plot line and the premise of this very believable situation in a way, because they take that fungus that makes zombie ants. Right?
Is that what it's based on?
Yeah.
Oh,
So this
yeah.
is if you don't know what this is, and this is what makes it fantastic and different from The Walking Dead, because initially you're like, oh, another Walking Dead? Like, I
Yeah.
thought we were over it, which we're not. I mean, it's trending on Netflix. But so the premise is it's a fungus. There's all different types of funguses, right? Funguses are just an amazing organism that it's so complicated, complex, and we still don't know much about them. But there's funguses for medicine. There's fungus for this, that, and the other thing. Well, there is a fungus that can actually infect ants and then literally take them over, and they turn into fucking zombies. And like that's the best way to describe it. And they're killing others. And they say the reason why, and this is scientifically proven too. So they kind of make it to where it's scientifically plausible. The reason why that fungus doesn't affect us is because our body temperature kills it off, right? But with global warming, what if this is the setup? With the Earth's temperature gets hotter, and then the fungus evolves to be able to withstand hotter temperatures, therefore being able to infect human beings.
Yeah.
That enough is terrifying in itself, and you're in, just based off that, and it's great.
Yeah. If you've never seen Planet Earth, that was like where this all started with the zombie ants, that famous documentary. I remember that. That became a meme. Like whenever people discover the story of the zombie ants, it horrifies people.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's crazy. It's a trip. And it's interesting to see. But yeah, so with that, then you see all different types of zombies, and it makes me want to play the game.
Yeah.
And it has been, good writing. It's slower. It's a nice, mellow Sunday night show.
And they have announced a second season, but they said from the very beginning, we are not going to Game of Thrones this. It's like if there's whatever the existing IP is, that's all we're doing, nothing more.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The existing IP, which is in the game, so they're basically following the game. So if you want to spoil the series, play the game.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is. And I've seen some side-by-sides where people are really doing it, like they used to do with the comics and Walking Dead. There comes a point where you do have to diverge.
Yeah.
But some things will remain, like that's a core moment, like when Negan kills what's his name. Like they did that.
Yeah.
But so many things had been different, but there are some key things that they'll do.
Yeah. And I mean, otherwise, it's just you've got these trolls who are just like, you did it wrong.
Right. When
Yeah.
it's you can't.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. And a lot of times you have to invent characters because,
Right.
just because it worked on paper doesn't mean it works in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joe's saying total horseshit. I'm thinking it's probably because I fat shamed her. I don't know. Let me know, Joe. What's total horseshit? I mean, to be fair, a lot of what I said this hour probably total horseshit. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, there's some stuff that
I think that's the tagline for the show. Beef Vegan presents
total horseshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I present a lot of things, Herb Stratford. Total horseshit's only one of many. So we're back on here in about a minute. Let's see. There's something else we feature before we get into the rundown. Oh, kids like to party with Borg. Borg is a new thing that high school and college people are doing. And if you're not on TikTok, you probably don't know what a Borg is. But basically, this is what it breaks down to. If they're drinking Borg, it's called where is it at? Blackout Rage Gallon. That's what a Borg is. It's a blackout rage gallon. Okay. So here, I gotta show an uncensored clip of this.
Gallon of what?
Vodka.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's basically like jungle juice or lazy mixed drink. It's a plastic gallon that's partially filled with water. And then you add whatever amount of vodka you want. And then you add a color, like popular choices, the Mio, little egg-shaped flavor enhancers that change colors. So a little bit of water, a lot of bit of vodka, a little bit of flavoring, and a gallon thing, and they drink it, and that's Borging. You'll see that. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. I'm just explaining to my friends what a Borg is. And that's what the college kids are partying that way too. Just drinking vodka out of a gallon container with some flavored Mio. And then it
And
stands
maybe a
for-
splash of water.
Yeah, a little splash. It's called Blackout Rage Gallon. Now, I can't make fun of it too much because I'm from the generation where we used to do Edward 40 hands. So yeah, no. All right, this weekend, of course, there's big games. There's Waste Management Open, but there's a lot of stuff happening in town. And here with the rundown is my friend Powers. Powers, what's going on this weekend?
Well, you know I love it local, and when we're talking about local stuff, we might as well hang around at the Tanca Verde swap meet. When's the last time you got to the swap meet?
You know, it's been a minute, but I've literally was raised by the swap meet. I love me some swap meet.
Heck yeah, I got to get down there. I have a plan to get a full airbrush jacket like Jimmy Hart.
Oh,
I'm going to
God,
do it
don't
one
do
day.
it. Don't
I'm
do
going to
it.
do it.
Come on, I thought you were classing yourself up.
A little bit. But the fact of the matter is you're going to want to check out the Comita Park grand opening. This is the food truck park that's been opening.
Yes, we talked about this with Shane from Tucson Foodie. Very excited about this. I think they're going to have in total up to 40 food trucks. There's going to be a stage for live entertainment. It looks really cool with the concept drawings. I'm excited about this.
Yep, there's a few famous food trucks that we'll know. Sexy Grilled Cheese will be down there. We know our friends over there.
Mhm.
Obviously, lots of fun kettle corn, and there's going to be live music. So go check out a variety of food trucks, all different styles, churros, egg roll masters, and some of my favorite people at Golden Taco.
Yeah, is there any like entertainment that they advertise, like anything? I know that it's opening weekend, so I'm sure they're going to bust out all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, there is live music, but I didn't see specifically who it is, but they've got a whole bunch set up. It's definitely a big celebration.
I got to check it out because I want to throw a party down there as well.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got going on?
So it's second Saturday tomorrow.
Oh, nice. It's
Yeah.
already second Saturday.
Already second
I
Saturday.
got to do
So
something for second Saturday too, man.
heck yeah. So
Yeah.
there's again live music downtown, lots of vendors. Don't forget that Valentine's Day is on Tuesday.
Okay, so when second Saturday happens on 4th, what do they do?
It's on Congress.
Okay, on Congress.
Yeah.
Okay, so they bust out a bunch of food trucks, different vendors. They take over Congress, so
Yes.
it's not 4th. And yeah, they do a block party and it's fun.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff to do. And also I think a lot of galleries downtown do they have open galleries as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of stuff to go check out. And I'm
Love
going to
it.
keep you downtown
Nice.
because after you're done buying gifts, want to go check out the Rialto because it's their big annual fundraiser and they always do a fun thing for it. And it's Clue. You know the
Ooh.
board game Clue? It's not
Yeah.
just a game anymore. So now it's going to be a full show with music and a lot of fun stuff. It's hosted by Tempest du Jour.
Nice.
So you got music. There's going to be a silent auction. There's also going to be a loud live auction as well to bid on stuff. All the proceeds are going to the Rialto. It's one of their fundraisers. It's $100.
Yes.
That includes a couple of drinks. It includes beer, wine, and liquor tastings, food selections from a lot of local restaurants. It's a hell of a party.
I have been to this before, and
Yeah?
there's some very big VIPs, Tucson VIPs that go to this event, which is cool to kind of hobnob with.
Yeah.
And yeah, delicious food. It's one of those things where it's tasting and elegant. So you want to dress up for this, but good entertainment. And of course, the Rialto. Who doesn't love the Rialto? We want to keep it for another 100 years.
Yeah. Celebrities. I want to meet Colonel Mustard. I've always wanted to meet
I'm
him.
talking like politicians. I
Oh.
mean, unless we show up and then you'll add the celebrity factor, you know. We're big in small circles. Oh, shout out to Drive and Go, by the way. My boy Josh, who listens to the show and helped me get my daughter veal vegan some driving lessons yesterday. So
Nice.
I know he listens all day. So double shout out there.
Heck yeah.
All right, and then finally, what else?
When you lose at Clue, don't worry. You can go cry about it at Emo Night because it's Emo Night at the Thunder Canyon Brewery.
Nice. I love that Thunder Canyon is doing this. I know that the emo nights is always go over very well, like where, up north, up at Phoenix. I have some friends who put on some emo nights, always pack it out. People rock out to that. And that's on Saturday?
That's going to be on Saturday. Again, join us in remembrance of love because love is dead. They're doing this because it's
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So if you're anti-Valentine's Day, this sounds like the thing to do. There's going to be a bunch of great cover bands, or some covers by bands and other bands. In Lessons, Woke Up, No Face, The Revenue, and Tongues. So you got some fun music hanging out there.
Nice.
It's at 8 p.m. So
Nice.
go check that out
Yeah.
at Thunder Canyon Brewery.
And guys, if you're single and you're looking for love this Valentine season, and there's a lot of emo girls that are in the same position, I suggest put a little eyeliner on, make your way down there.
That's right.
You're gonna have a good time.
That's right.
Yes. In fact, if I was single, you'd see me in guy liner there too.
Yeah, it's called Guy Liner, and everybody looks good in it.
Yeah. I've definitely hooked up because I was wearing guy liner before. It's usually Halloween, but it works every time. I'm
Heck yeah.
telling you. maybe it makes my eyes pop. I don't know. All right, so that's the rundown with Powers. So make sure you go out and entertain yourself this weekend. We're gonna hit the reset on the FM side. Be back with your beef tip after these words, but we're keeping the conversation moving. YouTube.com/beefvegan. Don't go away. So confusing. I'm like, stay here, go there, don't go.
Yeah.
Go over here. That's every single day. That's my problem.
Are there any pre-records that you can play, or because I got to take a whiz? Do you want to just talk to Herb for a minute? I know. I gotta. I've been holding this for a while.
I
I
could
could
bring a jug in here and
I'm
just,
You know what? They threw out the jug when they fixed the place up.
Well, we can talk about, like what's coming up here because,
Yes, please.
like I said, we've got, I mean, in the short term, we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium, right? So that Quantumania, that's the big one, which is next Friday.
This has been the takeaway that I've seen, and let me know if you've been thinking the same thing. And when are you going to see it? You get a screening here soon?
I don't know. Normally they invite me to go, and they're like, "Oh, come to Phoenix on a Wednesday night," and I'm like,
yeah, no, that does suck.
So it's so I have not heard yet, but I would say today's about the day that they would tell you, and then they would say you can't tell anybody you're going, and you can't bring anybody. And I'm like, I'm going to drive 4 hours in the car by myself to go see your movie.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what the takeaway has been on this. So what they're saying here, first, they say the first act is a little much, lot going on. If you're not familiar with the multiverse, like a novice is not, there's going to be a lot of terminology that's going to go right over your head, right?
Yeah.
But if you're familiar with the multiverse, you're going to eat it up. Michelle Pfeiffer has a breakthrough performance, and in fact, actually, she's kind of like the star of the first act of this movie. So over half this movie, like she plays the lead. Jonathan Majors steals the show.
Yep.
Every single review that I seen, it was talking about how good Jonathan Majors is in this movie.
Yeah, this is his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and granted, he's been doing some other great stuff, but I think you're right. They're saying this is the come out party where everybody's just like, yeah, he's the real deal.
And that's great news. Well,
Yeah.
I feel that his charisma, we talked about this before, it's undeniable, but that's important for Marvel because he is the big bad villain for this entire
Phase 5. Yeah.
Phase 5. So to come so strong and like I said, there was reviews, people being like, meh, I didn't like it. But Jonathan Majors, man.
Yeah, right.
So
That does seem to be the takeaway. You're right. I've seen a few reviews where people are early reviews and they're just like, it's an okay movie, but oh my God, is he great?
Mhm.
Which, you know what? That's fine, right? We can live with that. I mean,
All day
Marvel should
long.
be happy. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and I love Paul Rudd and the Ant-Man movies. I also saw an interview with the director of Ant-Man who directed now all 3 of these. Okay. So with that, he didn't want to be kind of like a makeshift in between movie. So to Avengers.
Yeah.
So he had full aspirations of making this as big as an Avengers movie, like a big feel and the effects and just everything. And you see in the trailer,
Oh yeah.
it looks mind blowing. I'm excited. I actually, out of all the Marvel movies so far, this would be the one I'm most excited about since I was excited about Thor, but Thor was a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought you were most excited about Guardians.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Guardians too, because
so
I'm a
that's-
Guardians fanboy. That's
yeah.
my Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
But and I'm ride or die James Gunn, and I have been since Super, to be honest with you, and that's with Rainn Wilson.
That
It's
was
such
excellent.
a great movie.
Yeah.
If people have not seen that movie, that is worth finding on Netflix or wherever you
I
can
think it
find
is on Netflix right now.
It's so good. So yeah, so you got, and the trailer, here's a question. The trailer, this is going to be a trailer for Super Bowl too. It just dropped for Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I'm worried.
You should be.
I'm worried.
It doesn't work.
It does. It does. Exactly. It doesn't work. And just because you stick Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez in,
Right.
you're thinking you're going to make something happen. It just looks like a CGI mess.
Mhm.
That they don't even look like they're happy that they're in it.
No, then they're not going to be happy to be at the the debut to watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's coming up. And I don't know if you saw the trailer drop for Air, which I don't know if you've heard about. This is the Ben Affleck and what and a Matt Damon movie about Nike's courtship of Michael Jordan to be their guy.
Huh.
Right when he was still a rookie, had not even played a game yet.
Yes.
And how they all went after him. And I'm gonna say to you, I watched this trailer yesterday because it was a big deal. Everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
And I came away from it, and I already felt this way, but I came away from it just, I cannot shake this. what is it about Ben Affleck? I find him so uncompelling. I am so uninterested in this guy. He looks like he's bored, right?
Well, you saw him at the Grammys.
Oh my
which
God, he
became
was
a meme.
bored.
It's hilarious.
It's just like, why is this guy a movie star? What? I mean,
He's tall.
I love Matt Damon, but I don't get Ben Affleck. I
know.
don't get it.
He's got a very punchable face. Now with him becoming a meme at the Grammys.
What did he do with the girl? He's just asleep.
Oh,
You know, he
J-Lo was like,
stone-faced.
oh my God,
But-
she was on him. Like, sit up straight. She was
Really?
yeah, it
Yes.
was
and
embarrassing.
he's just sitting there just like,
He didn't wanna
Sam
be there.
Smith. Yeah, he didn't want to be there. And that's fine. I don't hate that. They found out that he was a meme live at the Grammys. So there was a seat filler, right? Because you've been to these award shows, seat fillers go,
Yeah.
and there was a seat filler sitting next to Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. And so she's oh my God, honey, you become a meme, and right now. And he looked at it and he's just like, and then that was the part where he's snapping, where like he whispers in her ears, like, maybe I should do some more meme shit or something, right? And then she's like, no, cut it out. And then he just looks at the camera like sad Ben Affleck or mad, irritated Ben Affleck. So the story though of Michael Jordan being courted by Nike is interesting enough. We learned a lot about it in the Last Dance.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was a huge fan of Adidas at the time because of hip hop culture. That was the shoe.
Yeah.
So he really wanted to go for Adidas, and then Nike was a nothing company. But his parents kind of convinced him to have the conversation. His manager saw the branding opportunity of an Air Jordan, and the rest is history. And now he's a billionaire. So I don't know if you need to see that movie because I think I summed it up fucking perfectly, right?
Yeah, and then you don't have to watch 2 hours of Ben Affleck. So in a bad beard, and like he's still nice.
It's not a documentary. This is
It's a narrative feature, yeah, and it's got all kinds of people in it. I mean, there's like Jason Bateman, who I love, is in it, and you're just like, oh, why are you guys making this movie?
I'm telling you this right now, though, you can't count it out. When Ben Affleck and Matt Damon formed together and they got an all-star cast, and the one thing they do know how to do is surprise us and make good movies. So I feel like this movie could be enjoyable. Shit, man, that Netflix movie that Ben Affleck starred in when he was that little the Army or the Secret Ops movie, that was surprisingly enjoyable as well.
That's true.
We both were geeking out on
That's
that.
true.
Is
That's
it-
true.
Is
Just
it
when you
written-
count them out.
Written by them?
I don't know if it is. It's probably based on a book or something.
We're talking
Okay.
about Air. It's a movie that's going to star Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and and Herb is pessimistic about it. And as much as I enjoy bagging on Ben Affleck, honestly, that duo when they're together, they tend to surprise us and put out good product. And I don't think with that much effort involved, and the story of Michael Jordan and how he signed with Nike shoes, I feel like they're going to get this one right, so, we like to place bets, so we can place bets if you want.
Well, April 5th. We'll figure it out before then.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you'll get a sneak peek. So that's Herb Stratford. He is a film critic extraordinaire. Make sure you visit his YouTube page. He always has interviews with celebrities doing his thing. What's your YouTube page again? You don't have a handle.
Artsandcultureguide.com at YouTube. Yeah. So it is.
YouTube.com/arts and culture guy.
Yeah.
Powers and I will be running around town like maniacs. Hope to bump into you. Enjoy the big game on Sunday. On the flip side, on Monday morning, we'll have another major concert announcement with tickets to give away all week long, and other good stuff. In fact, actually, I have good stuff that I didn't give away today, like tickets for FC Tucson. So if you want those, give me a call right now. Caller number 10, 600-KFMA, 600-5362. I'll hook you up with that for their Desert Winter Showcase, and they have, or the annual Desert Showcase. And there's a few games here that you could choose from. So 600-KFMA, 600-5362. That's all the time we have for today. Here's your beef tip, okay? Sir, a study has shown a way for you to get to bed early. Just think back on a happy memory, and it helps you fall asleep, and that's what I do. I think about happy memories when I go to sleep, like Melissa or Sarah or
Doesn't that get you
Sandra.
up?
Yeah.
It gets me up, but it gets me down too.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. So either way, focus on a happy memory, fall right asleep. Or sometimes I think about Robin Nash. Robin Nash.
Stop that.
She's up next. So enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. You seen her though? She's hot.
When you wish upon a
Later,
side
guys.
of beef, soon will come
Herb's already out the door.
and do
Yeah,
all
this
your
guy,
grief.
jeez.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.